Hello, my name is Trevor LaRoche, and this is my final. This is my intro. Architecture is a language of time, one that speaks through form, space, and material. In my architectural project, I set out to create a design that bridges the immense historical distance between two influential periods, ancient Egyptian architecture and the modern architectural movement spanning from the 1930s to the present day. While these eras may seem worlds apart in both time and technique, they share a powerful dedication to structural integrity, spatial harmony, and symbolic resonance. My work is a personal exploration of how ancient reverence and modern innovation can not only coexist but also enrich one another in contemporary design. By the way, this picture is from Frank Lloyd Wright's, one of his works. I forget which one, but I believe it's here in Maine. Ancient Egyptian architecture. The roots of my inspiration lie in the awe-inspiring moderns of ancient Egypt, particularly those attributed to Imhotep. I'm probably saying his name wrong. Imhotep, one of the earliest known architects in human history, which is crazy to think about how long ago that was. His designs, such as the step pyramid of, oh my god, Djoser, I believe that's how it's said, I don't know, as shown on the right. I got some pictures that I thought were pretty cool. This is one of the insides, I believe, of this part, and this is from a wider view from the back. And to see the scale of this is crazy. As a side note, like, this is very impressive, and there's even bigger pyramids than this, so that just shows you. Alright. These pyramids reveal a mastery of form and proportion as well as deep spiritual intent. What captivated me most about Egyptian architecture was its sheer monumentality. As I just previously mentioned, even the smallest part can be looking big, like even a small pyramid like this is crazy. Massive stone structures built to last millennia, by the way. Arranged with precise symmetry and infused with symbolic meaning, these creations were not merely buildings, they were embodiments of cultural beliefs, eternal resting places, and statements of power and continuity. And just another look, these are crazy to see the craftsmanship on these. Just wow. Modern architecture. And I have, just before I get into it, I have some of Frank Lloyd Wright's designs and houses, or this was his house a while ago. I believe one of his houses. I don't know if he had a few, but this is one that I particularly liked. And the rest is also from him. But this one is crazy beautiful to see working with the environment. It's like, wow. Alright, let's get into it. On the other end of the spectrum, I found myself drawn to the organic yet functional beauty of modern architecture, in particular Frank Lloyd Wright's philosophy of an organic architecture had a profound impact on how I approached my own project. Wright's ability to integrate built environments seamlessly into natural surroundings and his belief that a building should grow naturally from its site inspired me to think beyond static form. Like, a good example would be right here. I think this works perfectly in the environment. It has the trees extending along this, and it has it showing up. These grass and the trees point up to the building itself, which is just beautiful and breathtaking. It really catches your attention. Alright. His work reminded me that architecture can be both grounded in practicality and elevated through artistry. Modernism's embrace of new materials, open floor plans, and minimalistic aesthetics offered a dynamic counterpoint to the heaviness of ancient stone, helping me to imagine a combination of the two styles. And I wanted to find one of his works that kind of reminded me of ancient Egyptian architecture. So I have this one right here. I know it's not exactly the same, obviously, but just seeing the amount of stone used in this and the rich, really deep colors really reminded me of some ancient Egyptian work, and just the scale of this too. Like, if I was here, I'd be about, what, this tall up to this? So that goes crazy high. You know? Design process. My design process unfolded as a thoughtful journey that prioritized creativity, structure, and sustainability. I began by organizing my conceptual drawings in a mixed grid format. I have that right here. I cropped it a little so you could see it better. This system allowed me to explore a wide range of shapes and architectural styles side by side, helping me visualize, categorize ideas and patterns that may appeal to what I was going for, you know. Each concept drew inspiration from a different object or emotional impression. For this one I was thinking more space, and I was like thinking more on heavier feelings. Maybe bottle up or something around that. This one I really was thinking into more bright, casino-y, showy, although I didn't end up going with it. This is also a really good idea I might develop in the future. Now, some from natural forms, of course, like this one and this one. These two definitely have more natural forms and curves. Other from abstract feelings or historical motifs, and the one I went with was more historical based. That's why I have this next to it, and this next to it. And I do have another abstract one, I believe, right here, which is, I don't know how I'd pull that off in the future, but I'll have to look into it. This approach allowed my creativity to flow organically while still maintaining a sense of order and direction. To identify the most promising paths forward, I put a star next to my favorite designs in each category, eventually narrowing my focus to 3 standout concepts. From those, I chose to develop a design inspired by the form of a 3-leaf clover, as shown right here. Now, it was originally in shape of a 4-leaf clover, but I ended up having to add stairs to it, so it's more 3-leaf clover shape, so I changed a little bit of the motif to focus on that and to show that how designs can change in general. Its natural symmetry resonated with the symbolic traditions of ancient Egypt, while its soft curves and openness echoed the spatial freedom of modern design. The clover became not just a shape, but a central metaphor for the fusion of luck, nature, and human intention, elements that I believe architecture at its best should express. Now, not to toot my own horn, but I really like the slab that I ended up working on here, and some of the windows that really open it up. Construction and conclusion. Sustainability played a vital role throughout the process. I challenged myself to construct the final 3D model only using recycled and or materials that would be discarded, such as cardboard, water jugs, and styrofoam. The only new materials I allowed were paint and hot glue, because I couldn't just have this being brown and not being put together. The constraint became a source of innovation for me, encouraging me to see everyday waste or things that would just be tossed out as something that can be put to better use throughout my design process. This project has been both a creative challenge and a rewarding journey. More of a challenge, though, to be honest. It has taught me the value of looking back in order to move forward, of blending different traditions to create something new. Ultimately, I've come to see architecture as not only a technical craft, but as a cultural conversation. One that just spans centuries, materials, and mindsets, and I hope I've been able to demonstrate that here with some of the challenges I put on myself with not being able to use as many new materials. I still had to go out and buy a few things, obviously, like the tape, which I forgot to mention, but other things like this honestly just gave me such a good challenge to open my mind up to when I am able to get new materials, and I hope I can put emphasis and more time on my work. This took me a while, but I think for next time I could definitely use better materials. Cardboard is very hard to work with and shows me the challenges of why you shouldn't use maybe cardboard and styrofoam, you know, like why I'm lucky to be able to go out and just buy some foam core. But the challenge itself definitely was very rewarding to be able to see my process and my design come to life. I'm going to go over it real quick. For the base, I have a down picture right here. All the black outline, I used corrugated cardboard, and I measured everything to the exact. I Took a lot of measurements during this. I had a lot of cut-ups and a lot of other process pictures, but for right now I'm using my final pictures just because I want to show what the final looks like. And this right here, the blue stuff, is just painted styrofoam. I did a mix of, I believe, a light ocean blue and a really deep blue, like I wouldn't say a more rich blue, but maybe royal blue, I'd say. Another thing is, in the future, definitely I'm gonna have to get other things for the clear materials. Working with water jugs is horrible. That's just my experience, though. Maybe some other people are more experienced than me, obviously, and can work with this stuff like crazy. But I also have my model compartmentalized, if that's the word. I have it in segments so that you can take it apart and see my process, and I think I'll continue that in the future. But I had a lot of fun with this, and this is my final part of the essay. It's 1 page, I believe. And here, let me just double check. I do have a Google Docs open. I'm gonna just copy this, go over to Google Docs. This was my original that I put into the slides. I edited it quite a bit because this took quite a bit. But yeah, it's around a page. It's not double spaced yet. I don't know if you're allowing double spacing, but around that. Yeah. This took me a while because I've been going back. I was gonna put the link earlier, but when I went through the video and the link, it just wasn't up to par, and I wanted to re-edit it, so I'm sorry for the late time, but I hope you can see this later. And this was a really eye-opening project for me, especially with the little challenge I put on myself. And I thank you for your time and your patience, and I hope you have a great evening.